Welcome back. Today I'm going to try to play a live rapid game on camera. Now most of you know it's been a while since I've made one of these chess videos, but one thing I've been doing since my last one is I've been playing rated rapid games on chess.com off camera, which is something I didn't do all through last year. My rating was hovering around 1300. I think I had just dropped to 1298 the last time that I played a game on camera. Here is my rapid archive starting back in December. These here are unrated games that I played against my family members for the annual Fry Family Christmas Chess Tournament. And then here in February is where I dropped to 1298 when I lost this game on camera. And recently, on April 13th, as you can see on the screen, I got the bright idea that maybe I could play better if I wasn't on camera, because it is a little bit distracting to be recording at the same time, to remember that the camera's there, to remember that I have to say something and make sure that my audio is recording and so on. But it turned out to be an incorrect theory, because as you can see, I lost that first game that I played on April 13th. I dropped to 1264 because I hadn't played in 2 months, so there was a big rating drop. Looks like, 36 points. 34 points if I can do basic arithmetic. And then I thought, well, that was probably a one-off, so I played another one and I lost 30-something more points. And then that same day I played 2 more and I finally got a draw here, but already my rating was down to 1200. Made it look like I was, a brand new player with a blank rating. And then I played another one and I lost that one and I went below 1200. So that was 5 losses in a draw in a row on the same day, but basically disproving my theory that it was distracting, and harder for me to play on camera. Apparently it was difficult for me to play, period. Now, I did keep playing in the days that followed. Here's some April 14th games. I actually won 2 and drew 1 on April 14th. And then on April 15th, I lost 1 and I had several wins in a row through the 15th and 16th. So my rating was coming back up, 1267. I even got up to 1282. But then I started losing again, and then I got another draw, and then I won a couple and lost a couple. And so basically my rating has evened out at where it should have been the whole time, apparently, which is right in the middle of the 1200s. Because once you get to this point where I'm winning, losing, that's probably the rating that you should be at if you're playing, multiple random opponents. And here I'm hovering around 1250. And there were several more games all the way up through this morning where I lost one, but I'm still around 1260. Anyway, that's probably a long enough introduction. Let's just go ahead and play a random opponent here, rated on camera, and see if I actually do a little bit better, because on camera I am forced to talk out what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking, which is something I don't do when I'm playing on the computer by myself or just, with the app. It does look like my audio is recording. It does look like I'm online, so let's go. Click play and we'll see. We got paired very quickly with someone who's rated slightly higher than me, but lower than I was rated when I started this little experiment a week or so ago. I'm going to play the English and see what this person does. We're going to get the symmetrical variation, at least for the first move or two. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's aiming for a d5. Do I just play d4 now, and now we switch to a queen's gambit? No, we're still in the English opening symmetrical variation. I kind of want to push past now. Is that what I should do? But then they push past, don't they? Oh my. I don't think I've ever played that d4 before, but that's what I did, and it happened. I'm not sure. Let's get this knight out, and we have an extra defender on this pawn if we need it. Oh, we're getting more pawn pushes. Probably that was to prevent my bishop from pinning the knight, but I tend to not do that unless I know it's part of the opening. But a lot of people at my level do that. I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and push this pawn a little bit here, add another layer of defense, but also to get my light squared bishop out. And I'm still expecting d5 here pretty quickly, or possibly knight to c6. Sometimes I see knight to c6 in this kind of situation, although I don't know I've been in this exact position before. But my opponent is thinking about it. Oh, they disconnected for just a second. I thought I saw that show up there under their username. Okay, they played what I expected. So I'm going to go ahead and take this pawn. I don't think they'll take this one, because then we'll get the queen trade, and they don't have anything. Oh, they're going to castle first before they do that, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take here, and we're going to break open the center, even though I don't have my enough pieces developed, but that's what we seem to be doing. We're going to go ahead and take that. Now we're going to go ahead and get this bishop out. I think we're going to check first so I can castle as soon as I need to. Let's go ahead and take that. Let's castle. See what they take back with. They're probably going to take back with the bishop because they need to develop a piece. No, they took back with the queen. Okay, I'm going to castle, and then I will trade queens if they take this knight with their knight on c3, and then I'll take the knight after I trade queens. But that might not be what they're planning. They wanted to castle first. Okay, then I'm going to take the knight first, I believe. I think. Again, not 100% sure. I assume they'll take with the queen, but they might take with the pawn. If it were me, I would want to leave the pawns together, but they were not that concerned about leaving the pawns together. I am going to develop this last piece here, probably try to play a3 and b4 to push that bishop back, although it's not pointed. Oh, well, I'm going to play this like I said I was and see what they do. They might play a5 now. This opponent seems very intent on pushing pawns. Okay, aiming here. Well, let's push the bishop back. They did go back. Okay. And I want to put this bishop one up so I can go there when I if they push that pawn. I think I'm doing fairly well on time. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that now and see if they want to trade off these dark squared bishops here. They did. Okay, I'm going to take with the knight because, like I said, unlike them, I'm going to try to keep these pawns together. They separated that e pawn and made it a d pawn, so it's by itself. I think in an endgame that's not good, but I don't, obviously I'm not a master. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the rating that I do. I am also aiming at this pawn, but it's defended right now. That pawn's defended twice, so I'm not going to take that. I also don't know that I should try to block it yet because then that leaves this pawn undefended, right? My e pawn will be undefended if I move my f pawn. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to get my queen off the back rank, which would also defend this pawn if I have to take there. And it continues to defend my knight, and it connects my rooks. I'm remaining fairly competitive on time, which has sometimes been a problem because I talk and then I forget that I'm supposed to be playing. Okay, continuing to defend this pawn. That's good. But they gave up the defense of that pawn. I'm going to take it, I think. Now I'm a pawn ahead, but that might not be great. I'm also attacking that pawn, and I'm ready to come back here if I need to. And I'm ready to fork if I can. If I can get a different color arrow there. It does look like they're trying to push their f pawn again. That's why they moved the queen over here, I think, because they weren't looking for a discovery this way. But yeah, I really hope that Josh here will challenge my knight with this pawn. But he's 1270. He's probably better than that. Okay, there we go. But I can take the pawn. Wait, why did the rook go there? Because I was probably going to come back here, so that would just attack that rook. Or I could just take the pawn now. I'm going to take the pawn and then come back, I think. Then I can just come back to where I was, looks like. I always aimed at my rook. That was sneaky. Okay, can I just do that? Oh no, he's going to get the pawn back now. Yep, okay. Well, good for him. Good job, Josh. Got the pawn back. But that left this pawn undefended, and that rook will be pinned. Is that okay? I'm still a pawn ahead, but right now I'm 2 pawns ahead, I think. Because yeah, I got 2 pawns with that knight over there before I lost the other one. So, and then this one, I think that, 2 pawns ahead. Okay. But we've opened up the middle of the board, which I don't know how good that is. Need to defend this rook. Well, the rook is defended, but that means the queen is stuck there. So I'm not sure what I would play if I were playing with the black pieces right now. But you've got to deal with that pin, I think, as soon as possible. Because right now the queen is locked into defending that rook. I don't think I blundered. Looking around, making sure. Oh, okay. Well, let's take that, right? I think that's just a pawn for a pawn. I think I'm just going to take that. This rook is still pinned. He's going to take that with his rook. I'll be able to check, but he'll get out of check fairly easily. So I think I kind of want to maintain this pin right now. Okay, I assumed that was a snap take back, but Josh is thinking about it. And now I'm ahead on time by about a minute. I am looking for places for my queen to go in case it starts to get in danger. Oh, Josh has disconnected. It's probably not his fault because, it's happened a couple of times during this game. I don't think Josh is just, abandoning the game. He's back now. Okay, he did take that. Oh, I wish there was a way to get this check and fork that rook, but queens don't move quite like that. Let's see. If I do check here, he could just bring this back and then, nothing has happened, really. I'm not sure that I want to challenge that rook because I like these pawns all being, where they are right now. But we can bring this rook out. I don't know where. Yeah, let's go ahead and line it up with the queen. I'm not sure about that because he's pointed here. Okay, now we're almost evened up on time. I'm going to go ahead and do the check just to save time, and then I'll come back after he blocks. Oh, wow, just for a second I thought he didn't block. Very interesting. Okay, I thought for sure he was just going to bring that f rook back, but no, I think he's lining up his rooks with this. Okay, well, I'm going to come back down here, making sure that's a safe square to add a defender to this in case he does try to line everything up on that. That's kind of what he did exactly what I was thinking, and I thought he was also going to probably try to line this up here, the queen. Should I put this rook here, or should I do what I was thinking about? Yeah, I'm going to put it there, not only protecting the queen, but adding a defender to the f pawn. Well, I'm pretty impressed. He made the exact 2 moves that I suggested he was going to make. Well, okay, that also pins that pawn. But I can move the pawn. Now I have 3 power defenders on the f pawn. I think I can just move the king now so that this pawn isn't pinned. Or I could just check again. Just for fun? Let's check again just for fun, making sure that's still safe and I'm still defending this. I can also pull this rook over one, I think. Depends on what Josh does. Again, we're about even on time. Did my time jump or did I talk too long? Okay, he's blocked with the rook. Very nice. I'm going to threaten the queen just temporarily because, again, not entirely 100% sure what to do. Where's the queen going to move to? He might come here and offer a queen trade because that threatens this pawn. If he does that, I will take the queen. If he does something like threaten my queen with the rook, then I will take his queen and he can take mine, I think. Oh, okay, he moved over. Then I'm going to go ahead and threaten his queen again. Oh, he came after the pawn and I didn't notice it. Very nice. Okay, he's going to get one of those pawns back. Well, he's taking his time, but that's why I would have moved there. Oh, he didn't go for the pawn. Very interesting. Looking for a discovery, maybe? Okay, I'm not sure what to do. Gonna come over here. If he starts lining up on the G file, I guess I can push this pawn up and have more defenders on it. Oh, he just took it. Oh, because I got my queen in the way. Nice. Okay, I think I've just lost this game. Good job, Josh. Because I don't have any checks. I pretty much have to take this because now he's threatening mate. So yeah, okay. Josh has taken me to school here. I think I got two rooks for a queen. Is that good or bad? That's good though. Wait, am I doing okay? Oh, for a second I thought I was going to lose my rook and my queen for the 2 rooks. Okay, he's coming after the pawn, which I guess good. I got to defend it and stay ahead on time. And then I'm going to line these rooks up, I think. And then just play it as safe as I possibly can. I assume he's going to try something. Oh no, he's just going to check. Okay. Going to move over one. And I'm going to line these rooks up. And then he's going to have to start advancing these pawns. I think. Oh man, I'm pretty good at guessing what he's going to do most of the time. I wish I could do that all the time. But I can't. Okay. He gets there. I'm going to lock this up. I think. We'll see. He might. Oh, he did go there. Okay, well, I kind of have to lock it up now. I can't take because then he gets his queen here. Yeah, let's lock it up. But now he can get on one of these dark squares here and keep me from getting out of the corner. Maybe not that particular dark square, but you know, one of the not that one either. But I think you know what I'm saying. Get on one of the dark squares here, guarding this diagonal. But instead, he's just going to do that. I'm going to push this pawn. Okay, he's gone way back there, which is probably good for me. He's going to get in front of this pawn now because I've gotten... Okay, he has to get in front of it. Can I go here? Which aims there. I'm still 2 points ahead on material. Am I doing okay? Oh, I'm going to take that, right? I think. Take that because, yeah, his queen is aimed here. Now he has to move over one. I'm going to check and take the other pawn too. Yeah, I'm really paying attention to where his queen is aimed, and it is not at that pawn. So I'm going to take that and then come back over here. Right there. And now I'm up 4 pawns. Well, 4 points of material. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, is it time to start moving these? Actually, you know what? Let's cut the king off. So the king is trapped back here on the 5th rank or further, and then I will start moving these pawns. No, I can't move that one. Well, I can move my king, though. And I can move this pawn. And now I can move the other pawn too. Well, I'm going to check. He has to go back over or go back. If he goes back, I think I'll trap him further back. He didn't go back. Now I'm going to push this pawn. And I don't think he can check me right now without getting it out of in front of that pawn. He went there, aiming to check me. But, oh, should I push that? Oh, I don't know. Because I know he wants to check me here. Wait, that pawn's guarded. I'm going to promote. See if he takes it. He did not take it. Okay. He went there to check. Is he going to try for a perpetual? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his intentions are, but we're about to find out. I'm going to block that with my queen, my new queen, and we'll take it. Oh, he went over there. Oh, he is trying for a perpetual, but this time it's check, so he has to take it. Pretty sure. Oh, wow. We talked ourselves out of that one, or into it, or something. I feel such a sense of relief right now, but I have 2 minutes to do this checkmate, so let's make sure that we don't mess up if Josh keeps playing. Josh is under a minute now. Oh, we abandoned. Josh, I said you weren't going to abandon. I don't know Josh, but from that tiny little thumbnail, he looks like he's about my age. I don't mean that as an insult to him, obviously, because I'm that age. Well, Josh was a good sport. It's asking me if Josh was a good sport. Josh was up until the end when he abandoned instead of resigning. You know what? I'm not going to click anything because I never click those things. Anyway, do I have a game review left? I'm going to find out. I guess I did have a game review left. Okay. It says I had one blunder, one miss, and 2 mistakes. And Josh Flowum did not have any blunders, but did have a miss and 3 mistakes and slightly more inaccuracies. But sometimes it's the timing of the blunders and mistakes that makes the difference. So even though I had a blunder and he didn't, it looks like my blunder was right here, which is what brought us back to even, but then he missed his chance there, so we were even until a mistake is what put him behind. My question is, why is that a mistake if that's a bigger jump in evaluation than this blunder? This blunder takes us from 3 to 0, but here we go from 0 to, well, the number's not popping up. Okay, it's there +4 over there. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I think that should have been counted as a blunder if it indeed changed that much. Let's look at the move list here to see, okay, we had some inaccuracies in the opening. Mine was E3. Okay, so when he played H6, I should have pushed past. Is this where I was talking about doing that? Or E4? Oh, okay. I was too timid when I played E3. That's why it was counted as an inaccuracy. But then we did okay out till about move 10. And when he played there, I should have taken the knight. Okay, so it was counted as inaccurate for me to not take the knight. And it was counted as inaccurate for him to not take my knight. Oh, and what? Sorry, it says if he took my knight, I would have just played queen to C2. Whatever for? Oh my, I don't understand chess at all if this stockfish isn't toying with me. Oh, I just noticed it says 17. Is that recent? It's just gone up to stockfish 17 light. It used to be 16, right? Why in the world, if he did that, wouldn't I take his queen, which I assume he would take back, and then I would take his knight? But it says I would just let him take my knight and not take back. That seems absurd. But he castled instead of taking my knight, and then I took his knight, which was my best move. Okay, and then no more inaccuracies out to move 17 when he played F5 here. And for a second there, it was listed as his second best move. Should have played rook to C8, getting a rook on an open file. Okay, I understand that, Stockfish. Or rook to A8. I do not understand that. The rook just came from there, didn't it? But Stockfish would put it back. Okay. Played F5, which again I thought was coming for this, but and it wants me to play G3. My goodness. Or queen to D2. Okay, so this wasn't horrible. I don't think I said anything at the time, but one idea was that they have a light squared bishop and my queen was on a light square, so it just made sense to get it off of there. Plus, the rooks are now connected, and either one of them can get to any of the files from back there. And again, he should have played rook to C8 or A6. A6 would have made sense since I think I mentioned I was looking at that pawn over there. The queen coming over here undefended that pawn. It was my best move to take it. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the review to look at the graph here. Where are we on the graph? Can I back up one move and come forward to get the green line? Okay, so we're right here, and I got further and further ahead until about here, and what I should have done was rook F to E1, and it says wait, am I reading that right? Rook F to E1. Oh no, he can't move that rook. It says he would have played this rook to F6. Okay, to add another layer of defense, because if I move this rook over and that rook is stuck, it looks like I'm about to get it. So he would have to come back and defend it, but I would take on E6 anyway, and he would take back with his queen, and I would take back with my queen, and he would take with his rook, and I would be way ahead because I have an outside passed pawn. Oh my. All right, I understand that. That line was short enough that if I read just that bit, I think I know why I should have played rook F to E1 or rook A to E1, and the same exact series of events would have happened, except I would have had to have bring a rook back over there behind my passed pawn. I understand that. Very good for me. But instead, I checked. Lost most of my advantage. Wait, I thought the graph said that I lost part of my advantage here. Yeah, I was misreading the graph. I thought this was the place where I had lost most of my advantage, but this is where I lost part of my advantage. Okay, and then we stayed relatively even, and I got further ahead up to about +2 here when I should have, I'm just going to look, should have played rook to B, that's B5, right? Because that rook's pinned. Okay, I wasn't exploiting the pins as well as I should have. That's what that last mistake and this blunder, this was my only blunder. That's what they were teaching me. You have to exploit the pins. For a second, even just now, I thought, what? Why would I do that? Then they can take it, but they can't. The rook is pinned. If I played rook to B5, he would have to break the pin and defend the rook with this pawn. Oh, but then I would check down here on B7. He would have to block with that rook. And then I would put this rook on, the queen on B3 to defend my rook. That all seems pretty complicated. Or rook to b4 is my second best move. And of course he wouldn't take it because that rook is pinned and would be undefended at that point. But wait, if I played here, why wouldn't he take it? Because I would take this with check. He would get out of check and then I would take that one back. Okay, got it. Think I understand. Here I think I was a little bit concerned about maintaining my very slight time advantage that I had built up. So I was not taking the time to think about how to exploit the pins. I just played this and they should have taken the pawn. Yes. Okay. So is this the mistake that lost him the game? Let's go back and look at the graph. No, this is the mistake. This is a miss because I did that. He should have taken the pawn and I thought he was going to right after I moved that, but then he didn't. So I'm ahead briefly again, according to this +2, but I followed with another miss. It wanted me to put my queen back here on the first rank. Queen to b1 or queen to c1. All I saw was that I was lined up here, and I think that's what Josh was going for. He was thinking of moving, doing something with these rooks and discovering an attack, but my queen is defended. Oh, I know why he wanted me to get off that because of this. That's the thing that happened. It wasn't supposed to. Yeah, so that wasn't good for, okay. I misunderstood this whole situation. So I'm ahead here if I just leave this rook defending the f2 square, but instead I just moved over and he correctly took with his rook there. That was his best move. And I had to give up my queen, but when I realized that's what was happening, I was too slow to realize I was going to get both rooks for the queen. At first I thought, as I said, I was going to give up both of my pieces, but instead I'm doing okay. But this isn't where he lost. Because back to the chart here, I have to go back and forward to get the green line. It's a few more moves before Josh made a mistake that lost him the game. What was he supposed to do here? Let's just check. Supposed to get in front of the pawn now, or get in front of the pawn. You did it again, Stockfish, so it didn't help to upgrade to Stockfish 17. There is still a missing line of code or an extra line of code or two conflicting lines of code that allow this ridiculousness that Chess.com and Lichess, as we saw in a previous video, do every time I analyze a game. There was apparently nothing in their implementation of Stockfish that prevents it from giving two moves that are exactly the same when I've asked for two different moves. The whole point of having the setting asking for two lines is so I get two lines, not one line with two different evaluations. That's the exact same line with two slightly different evaluations. Okay, needed to get in front of the pawn. But he didn't, which allowed me to push the pawn. And that's it. That was it. That's what lost him the game. Now it's going to say he also could have played queen to d5, which is here. But in that case, I would have definitely pushed the pawn. But then he still could have gotten in front of it. Okay, well then why not queen to e6? Because he could still get in front of the pawn. I'm just curious, how bad would that have been? Really bad. Even though he can still get in front of the pawn. It's not sure if he should get in front of the pawn or not. Or what difference does this make? I have to know. I'm going to get one closer and now I'm way ahead. Okay, so it wasn't about getting in front of the pawn or moving over here to get in front of the pawn. I don't understand it. Well, I sympathize with Mr. Josh here because I don't know. I mean, he played the wrong move anyway, but is the thing that he has to get in front of the pawn before it crosses the halfway line? Is that what it is? No, because it's saying he can go to b6. It's also suggested b6. So it suggested d5, a4, or b6 is now the top move. But now it's not 0.6, now it's 0.8. So Stockfish has had some time to think about it. But in all of those cases, I'm going to push the pawn. Well, actually, not if he gets in front of it now, but in any other case, I'm going to push the pawn, and then he can get in front of it and keep it from crossing the center line. So I'm out of time here, but I'm just trying to figure out why Josh lost, as he may be doing at the same moment, because it definitely wasn't to his advantage to get behind it later. He needed to get, in front of it. He needed to get in front of this pawn sooner rather than later. If he goes there now, then I can't move the pawn at all. If he goes anywhere else, one of these other two things it suggested, I get to move the pawn one square, and then he's still going to get in front of it. Sorry, I drew that arrow too long. It was b6. Either way, he would get in front of the pawn, and it wouldn't cross the center line. So that must be what it was about. Okay. But he did that, which allowed me to push the pawn. Now he has to make another move before he can get in front of it, but he didn't yet. He pushed that, which allowed me to push the pawn even further, and he pushed that again. Oh, and it says I should have ignored that. Oh my, I should have just kept going. Or played here. Rook to a3. Plus 14 if I push the a pawn again. But I did that, and now it's just plus 4 and again, plus 5. Okay. But he brought the h pawn, which allowed me to push my a pawn. Now he has to go back there, and he knew it. He ran back there, but it's already too late. It's already too late. Mate in 17. I did not mate in 17. He had to get in front of it? He didn't have to. It says it doesn't matter. It's just a couple of moves difference if he doesn't get in front of it. Well, I would have gotten in front of it from that position, and that's what he did. Oh, and remember later when I thought of cutting off his king, I should have cut it off now. Rook to a6. But I didn't think about it. I knew I just needed one rook to guard that pawn, so I, coming to look for these pawns. That just allowed me to take it, but it wasn't my best move. I still need to come up here and cut off his king. Okay, how bad did this set me back? Oh no, it doesn't matter. It's still mate in 12. Okay, he came forward. I should have gone all the way over to b4 now, but f4 is right there. Okay. Oh, that's not f4. That's g4. And I should not have taken the pawn. What was I thinking? I was so worried about those pawns because he has a queen. And if you start from nowhere and you work your way up to this level, you've had so many games where the difference is the other person has a queen. I think that's ingrained in me so hard that I couldn't logically think of I can win without taking his queen, but apparently I could have. But then I ran away, and I think we're good here. Did I lose any? How bad did these inaccuracies set me back? Let's go here, and I should have played rook to b4 or rook to g4. I played king to g1. It set us back to plus 15. Okay, plus 16, but we lost the mating sequence. Okay, he played one of his best moves, but Stockfish went ahead and found a mating sequence. Back up? Yep, okay. I still had a mating sequence even after this inaccuracy, because before that, mate in 10 or mate in 11, and this gives me mate in 11, so really not an inaccuracy. Okay, but what about the next inaccuracy? Here, h4 is what I played, but that was completely unnecessary. I played rook to b4. Oh, to go down there? Yeah, that's what it was. Good grief. Why didn't I think of that? I could have gone down there. They would have run away with their queen. I would have promoted, and they would have taken, and I would have taken their queen. Okay, I definitely feel rusty. Thank you for spending your time here. If you made it this far, you're a fantastic person, and I really appreciate your support. Let me know in the comments what you thought, or whether or not you saw some of this during the game before I, looked at the evaluation. I'm sure a bunch of you did. See you next time.